never believed in the supernatural. Not until that night when my roommate decided to prove me wrong. Now, I'm trapped in a nightmare that won't end, and I need to warn others before they make the same mistake.
Dude, I'm telling you, this ritual actually works. I found it in this old book my grandmother left me.
My roommate had been obsessed with the occult for months. I always laughed it off as harmless entertainment, but the look in his eyes that night was different, more intense, more certain.
All we need is 3 black candles, salt, and something that belongs to each of us. Personal items, you know? And we need to do it at exactly midnight.
I rolled my eyes, but agreed to humor him. What harm could come from playing along with his little game? That's what I thought then. How wrong I was.
The ritual is supposed to summon Hecate, the goddess of witchcraft. She grants wishes, but there's a catch.
I should have asked what the catch was. I should have walked away when he started drawing symbols on our apartment floor with chalk. But curiosity is a dangerous thing.
We can't summon her with bad intentions. The book specifically warns against it. We just want to see if she's real, right? That's innocent enough.
At 11:55 p.m., we sat across from each other in a circle of salt. 3 black candles formed a triangle between us. I placed my watch in the center, a gift from my father. He added a necklace, something his ex-girlfriend had given him.
Now we wait until midnight, then we recite the words together. Don't mess up the pronunciation.
As the clock on the wall ticked toward midnight, a strange heaviness filled the room. The air felt thick, almost difficult to breathe. I told myself it was just suggestion, my mind playing tricks because of the atmosphere he had created.
It's time. Repeat after me. Hecate, goddess of the crossroads, we summon thee with pure hearts and open minds.
We chanted the words together. Nothing happened at first. Then the candles flickered, all at once, though there was no draft in the room.
Keep going. Show yourself to us. Grant us vision beyond the veil.
The temperature dropped suddenly. I could see my breath forming clouds in front of my face. The candle's flame stretched upward, unnaturally tall and still.
We offer these tokens of ourselves as proof of our sincerity.
As we spoke those words, the items in the center began to move. My watch rotated slowly, the hands spinning backward. His necklace coiled like a snake, the chain twisting into impossible shapes.
It's working. Keep going.
But I couldn't. My voice caught in my throat as I saw something forming in the space above our offerings. A darkness deeper than the shadows in the room, taking shape.
Hecate, we welcome you into our space.
He continued alone, his voice growing more confident. The darkness solidified, not into a person, but into something else. Something wrong. It had a vaguely feminine silhouette, but its edges kept shifting, never quite settling into a definite form.
Can you see her? She's here.
I wanted to run, but my body wouldn't respond. The temperature had dropped so low that my teeth were chattering, and then it spoke.
Why have you called me?
The voice didn't come from the shape. It seemed to originate from inside my own head. A whisper that bypassed my ears entirely.
We wanted to see if you were real, to know the truth about the other side.
Truth comes with a price. Are you willing to pay it?
My roommate hesitated for the first time. I could see doubt creeping into his expression.
What kind of price?
A small one. A memory. One from each of you.
Before I could object, my roommate nodded eagerly.
Yes, we agree.
The shadow moved, extending what might have been an arm toward him first. It touched his forehead, and he gasped, his eyes rolling back.
A memory of love. Taken.
Then it turned to me. I tried to scramble backward, but my body still wouldn't obey. When it touched me, cold spread from the point of contact, seeping into my skull.
A memory of safety. Taken.
The shadow withdrew, seeming larger now, more substantial. The candles flared brightly, then extinguished all at once, plunging us into darkness. Instead, the gaslit engine whistled softly, faded, cleared, and faded.
Did you feel that? It worked.
When we turned the lights back on, everything looked normal. The chalk marks, the salt, the candles, all as they had been. But our personal items were gone. My watch and his necklace had vanished without a trace.
Small price to pay, right? We actually did it.
He was ecstatic, but I felt uneasy. Something was wrong, but I couldn't put my finger on what. We cleaned up and went to bed. That's when the changes began. I woke up at 3:33 a.m., the supposed witching hour. My room was freezing cold. In the corner stood a figure, barely visible in the darkness.
You summoned me with impure intentions.
I tried to scream, but no sound came out. The figure glided closer.
He wanted revenge on the woman who broke his heart. The necklace carried his hatred, and you wanted proof to mock his beliefs. Neither intention was pure.
The figure was at my bedside now. I could make out features in the darkness. A face that kept shifting between young and old, beautiful and horrifying.
The price has increased. More will be taken.
I passed out. When I woke the next morning, I convinced myself it had been a nightmare. But when I saw my roommate at breakfast, I knew something was terribly wrong.
Who are you again? Do you live here?
He didn't recognize me, not just my name. He had no memory of me at all. 5 years of friendship, gone in a single night. I showed him photos of us together, our lease with both our signatures. He looked confused, frightened even.
That's me in the pictures, but I don't remember any of this. Are you sure these aren't fake?
By that afternoon, his parents didn't remember him either. When he called them, they thought he was a prank caller. His social media accounts had disappeared. His driver's license was blank where his name should be.
What's happening to me? I'm disappearing.
That night, he locked himself in his room. I heard him chanting, trying to reverse what we'd done. At midnight, I heard him scream. When I broke down the door, the room was empty. He was gone. Not just gone from the apartment, gone from existence. The room looked like it had always been a storage space. His belongings had transformed into old boxes and furniture that seemed to have been there for years. I was the only one who remembered him, the only one who knew he had ever existed at all.
A memory of existence taken?
The voice came from behind me. I spun around to see her, standing in the doorway. More solid now, more real.
Your turn comes tomorrow.
I ran, packed a bag and fled the apartment. I drove all night, putting as much distance between myself and that place as possible. By morning, I was 3 states away, checked into a motel under a false name. But she was waiting for me in the bathroom mirror.
Distance means nothing to me. I exist at all crossroads, in all places of transition.
I avoided mirrors after that, covered them all with towels, but she found other ways to appear. In puddles, in the reflection of windows, in the black screen of my phone before it lit up.
You cannot escape what you invited in.
I researched desperately, looking for ways to undo the ritual. Every source said the same thing. Never summon Hecate with bad intentions. Never try to use her power for selfish reasons. The warnings were always there, but we had ignored them. On the 3rd night, I found myself driving back to our apartment without consciously deciding to. My body was no longer under my control. When I arrived, the building looked abandoned, though I knew it had been full of tenants just days before.
The final price must be paid.
She was waiting inside, no longer a shadow but fully formed, beautiful and terrible, with 3 faces that shifted as she moved, maiden, mother, and crone.
Your friend sought revenge. His price was his existence. You sought to mock the sacred. Your price is to become a warning.
She reached out and touched my chest, right over my heart.
A memory of humanity. Taken?
I felt something fundamental changing inside me. My sense of self began to unravel. Memories slipped away. My childhood, my parents' faces, my own name.
You will remember only this, the warning you must give to others. You will exist between worlds, neither living nor dead, until your warning has saved enough souls to balance what you disturbed.
And that's why I'm telling you this story now. I don't know how long I've been this way. Time has no meaning when you're neither here nor there. I drift between places, finding ways to communicate my warning. Don't summon what you don't understand. Don't invite forces beyond your comprehension into your life, and never, ever attempt to call upon Hecate with anything but the purest intentions. Sometimes I catch glimpses of my former roommate. He exists in an even stranger state than I do, a ghost of someone who never was. We pass each other in the spaces between moments, neither able to speak to the other. I don't know how many people I need to warn before my sentence is complete. I don't know if it will ever be complete. All I know is that I must continue, must find ways to reach the living with my cautionary tale. So, if you're listening to this, consider yourself warned. That book you found in the attic, that ritual you discovered online, that game your friends want to play at midnight, think carefully before you proceed. Ask yourself if your intentions are truly pure. Because she's listening, she's always listening. And she knows the truth in your heart even when you lie to yourself.
They never learn, do they?
Sometimes I hear her voice commenting on my warnings. She sounds almost sad.
They'll try anyway. They always do. And you'll have more company soon.
Maybe she's right. Maybe this warning won't stop you. Human curiosity is a powerful force. But remember this. Every action has consequences. Some prices are too high to pay. I have to go now. I feel myself being pulled to another place, another person, on the verge of making the same mistake. Before I fade, let me say one last thing. If you ever feel a sudden chill in a warm room, if you ever catch a glimpse of a three-faced woman in your mirror, if you ever hear a voice inside your head asking what you desire most, run. It's already too late, but run anyway. And whatever you do, don't look back.